Welcome again to Techturks, and today we have Onyeka of then FarmCrowdy, and our first conversation was 3 years ago, and so this is catch up to find out exactly what has happened since then and all those objectives that they had, how far they've gone, and also what the lessons have been learned. So Onyeka, thank you for coming back to Techturks. It was over 3 years ago.
Yes,
3 years ago. And it was FarmCrowdy then.
Yes.
But I do know that because I've been an investor as well on your platform, that the app has changed from FarmCrowdy to Crowdyverse. The product offering is a bit larger. And so tell us about it. So what has happened between then and now?
Okay, first, thanks for having me again. I think it's been an amazing journey in those 3 years. I'm quite excited about the growth we've had in the team. FarmCrowdy, when we started as a crowdfunding platform for agriculture. And we noticed that there are problems around not just raising money for the farmers, connecting them with the right market to sell and what they produce. Then we had issues around the food value chain where if you even sell what you produce, how do you get money in time to pay sponsors back, people like you that maybe invested in an opportunity? And so we're dealing with those issues at that time. And then I think it was July 2019, I made a decision in the team after going through several phases in FarmCrowdy that we needed to break the company up into two. I noticed that there were opportunities to crowdfund for other sectors beyond agriculture, and we wanted to make that available for people. So we took a decision internally to then create what we refer to then as Crowdyverse Holdings, and then it had two companies under it, FarmCrowdy and then a new platform called Crowdyverse. Later on, people were confusing Crowdyverse Holdings with Crowdyverse, so we changed the holding company name to Fato Holdings. So we then had two companies. FarmCrowdy then focused on technology for agriculture, so technology to get the farmers market access, technology to get them the right inputs, technology to get them.
So that's a B2B.
That was more of a B2B side of the business. And then Crowdyverse then became the crowdfunding platform for agriculture initially. And then by September, we then started crowdfunding for other sectors, September of 2019. So we stopped crowdfunding on FarmCrowdy and started doing that on Crowdyverse. That grew over time. We then launched it as a proper business. Initially, it was a product, but it became a proper business January 2020. So they celebrated 1 year anniversary just about a couple of months ago. And it's been growing really fast. So people have now found in it opportunities to invest in agriculture, real estate, in transportation, in health, in education. But beyond that is also the opportunity to save money on the platform.
When I look at Nigeria now, when I look at even the investment climate during that time, the competition was really, really stiff because you're competing against really treasury bills, high savings rate, and all. Today, you have an environment where treasury bills are 1 or 2%, if that. Savings accounts is next to nothing. You can have billions and still there. So, people are beginning to start looking for other investment alternatives, right? And now take those things seriously because the margins are just too wide, and of course, inflation is very, very high. Has that had an impact in Crowdyverse?
In Crowdyverse, yes, it has. And one of the things we've done to hedge against the risk is look at alternative investment vehicles that are beyond what you would find in the shores of Nigeria. Very quickly, we're able to hedge against FX risk. We're doing things outside the country. We're able to get people to save longer and then get higher interest. Because of the way the platform is constructed, a bank can't force an individual to say he must keep his money there for 1 year, except the person comes and says he wants to do fixed deposit. But the options people get to see on Crowdyverse, where if I keep my money there for 3 years, I see the benefit. It becomes a very interesting investment deal. I'm excited about doing that, and anytime I want to break that bond with the platform, there's the option that I do that, and I see clearly and plainly what the interest looks like and what Crowdyverse is doing as a business. So I think those are things that have excited the business. Then because it's also in several industries, it can wedge its risk from agriculture to real estate, and real estate to transportation, transportation to telecommunications. And so it can play around that and just be wedging the risk from one industry to the other. So when things are going bad in real estate, you're wedging it with agriculture. When it's going bad in agriculture, so that has played out very well for the team.
How do you, as you said, mitigate that human risk? Because one, beyond the vehicles, it is people who are driving, people to certain destinations, the insurance is involved, and the customers, that whole experience, so people keep coming back, and so you can expand the fleet and get more people to invest. I mean, how has that been?
So when we started out Plenty Worker, originally what we did was we first took on the burden of owning the vehicles ourselves so we can understand the industry. I have a background in technology. I was excited about 3 areas: agri, real estate, and transport, but I knew nothing in those areas. And so to every sector we were going to get into, I wanted to make sure I take the risk on myself before I tell people to join me. In trying out my hands with FarmCrowdy, that worked for us. Now, doing the same thing in Plenty Worker, we took on that burden of over 18 brand new buses that we bought in Plenty Worker to first understand how people will interact with our service. Over time, what we've done is we've moved it away from us owning the asset to now getting a model in place that's similar to what Uber has, that you bring your own vehicle on board and then we'll help you generate revenue, and then we'll split on maybe an 85% to you, 15% to us, the revenue that was generated. That has allowed us to grow our fleet now to close to 100 vehicles on the platform. And as we continue to look at scaling, I mean, within the next couple of weeks, there are new things that will come up on the Plenty Worker platform that will increase the number of vehicles. So we currently have signed up, so we have partners that are coming in with over 200 vehicles from different ends, and that increases the number of routes we apply on to about 95 routes across the country. We wouldn't have done that if we were the ones buying all the vehicles.
Of course.
So the learnings we've gotten from our own investments in the vehicles have allowed us build a model that is now getting people excited about bringing their vehicles in, because they know we understand what it is that is involved in the transportation sector.
Final question. I mean, I can see a lot has happened in that time. So, and final question. So, like, now that you have this major announcement, what's the next step for you?
I'm going to focus on FarmCrowdy and Plenty Worker. I mean, I run both companies as CEO. I was doing the third with Crowdinvest, but now that is going to be off my plate. FarmCrowdy is expanding into 2 different markets. It's going to be expanding into the East African market. By the end of Q2, that should happen. We'll announce it maybe much later. We're also expanding into the Caribbean market. So we've already tidied up arrangements there for that purpose. FarmCrowdy has grown from the last time when we met. We had maybe about 7,000 to 25,000 farmers in our network. Today we now have 400,000 farmers in our network, and it's growing continuously. Yes, at that time we met, I think we're in only 15 states.
Yes,
the country
exactly,
is 16 states. Now we're in all states in Nigeria. So it's about time we take it global and replicate the model in other places. And also our revenues are going up. This year we may start looking at profitability for the business, and we're quite excited about that too. Then Plenty Worker also will be going through also global expansion. So for the sake of this interview, maybe this is the first place you to break out. Plenty Worker has been accepted into a Techturks program, and so it will be moving into a new market in North America, and that will see the business now starting off operation. Because what we've noticed is, with the pandemic, it's opened up a lot of opportunities where people were operating maybe tour services and they had vehicles but right now they can't do that, and they're now looking at Plenty Worker taking on those vehicles. So almost immediately we will be starting out in the North American market. We already have investors that are looking at putting in some funding into the business. So we would start up North America. We have an opportunity in the Middle East, but that may be slow. So I'm focused on just the global expansion for the business. That will be heavy in 2021. So that's our future. We're very busy.
It's a great future. Onyeka, thank you for coming on Techturks and also giving us this fantastic news.
Thank you.
And I think you'll be an inspiration to all those entrepreneurs who have a dream and follow it through. So thank you, and good luck in the future.
Yes.